The Appleton County Board of Commissioners come to order, please. I'd like to welcome each and every one of y'all here tonight. We've got a good crowd. I guess everybody's here to see me go. I'm not going to be here, but anyway, proud to have y'all. At this time, I'm going to ask Doug to lead us in the pledge, and Darrell Evans to go lead us in the invocation.
Please rise and remove your hats, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shall we pray? Father, again, we're just so thankful that you spared our lives so that we may assemble here tonight to do the business of Appleton County. We thank you for your love and your blessings upon this county. Thank you for your hand of protection. Thank you for all the things that you do for us. Father, we thank you for this Christmas season where we celebrate the birth of your Son and our Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you for all that you do for us. Pray that everything that we do and say tonight would be in accordance with your will and for the benefit of Appleton County. In Christ's name we ask these things. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Darrell. Thank you, Doug.
Yes, sir.
I don't think Miss Sayers is going to be with us tonight. Has anybody heard any different? I think she had a previous engagement.
Yes.
Yeah. We need to move down to approval of minutes of the regular meeting on 1/11/1/22 and the call meeting 11/17/22. Do y'all want to do these together, separate, or do you have any additions or deletions?
There was one minor deletion that we had, and it was just a double worded issue, and Ms. Robin has got that fixed. So I'll make a motion to approve the amended minutes.
Have a motion to approve the amended minutes. Do I have a second? Doug, is that both of them? You want to go ahead?
That is correct, yes, sir.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Charlie, Darrell, Edward, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. Under old business, we've got Board of Health appointments. 1/1/23 to 12/31/2028. I think all of us got a letter on that.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I had reached out to Angie Griffith at the Health Department and had asked her for some input, and she gave me some input. And I have one name to submit if that's appropriate at this time.
It is.
I'd like to submit Miss Brenda Harris. She meets the criteria of a service agency, and this particular one is going to be replacing Miss Rebecca Ogden, and it is a consumer or a person from an advocacy agency or group which represent the county commissioners for health services. And Miss Brenda is an employee at Head Start, and she was recommended by Miss Angie.
Doug, was that appointment, it said 1/1/23 to 1/31/28. So was this lady that's resigning, was her time up, or?
Yeah.
It wasn't up?
No, she's not up.
Yeah, her time was up at the end of this year, 12/31 of this
Okay,
year.
we can
Yes,
go
sir.
through with that then. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Darrell Everett, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. I know the crowd loves to hear what I'm fixing to say now, but it's a must. I move that we close the regular session and open up the executive session for personnel.
Need that in form of motion.
Form a motion, please.
Also moved.
Motion by Doug. I have a second.
I'll second.
Theodore, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous.
The open
Yes,
session.
I would. I need a motion to close executive and open up the regular.
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Darrell Everett, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. We need to have a motion on our new county manager.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to introduce a motion to approve an employment contract with Mr. Allie M. Meadows, effective January 1, 2023, at a yearly compensation of $104,000.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Who said it? Theodore, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. Now we need a motion on our,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve a part-time hourly rate for Al, beginning today through the end of the year until his employment contract takes place, of $50 per hour.
do I have a second? Doug Harris, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous.
I'd also like to make a motion that we retain Mike Deal through January 31st, 2023 as a full-time consultant at his current pay rate and part-time services thereafter as needed at his current hourly rate of compensation.
Y'all heard the motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Theodore, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. Welcome to our new board here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Under new business defect board appointment, Ms. Artis Vaughn has resigned. Is this the one where,
Mr. Chair.
We just did that.
No, we did
No,
order help.
no, we did, this is defects.
Let's see, she just resigned tonight.
Yeah, Ms. Smith, she just resigned.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Ms. May Francis Joyner.
Francis Joyner?
May Francis Joyner.
Mary Francis Joyner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any requirements they have to meet? I didn't see any of
Yeah,
that.
he got some requirements.
Does she meet all the requirements?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that part, because he ain't been to a meeting yet, but.
No,
They got-
I'm talking about the base requirements.
Yeah. Those I know of.
Certain ones have to come from, different segments of the population. Like one of them has to be a healthcare professional, or one that has to be a Head Start worker. I mean, there's, stuff like that.
Yeah. He got your requirements.
Which ones does she fall in?
The bottom. Health. The health one.
Okay. And this is replacing Miss Retha.
Is she qualified, Doug?
Yeah, well, according to,
Theodore, you think she's
Yeah,
qualified?
She's qualified.
yeah, if she's a health provider, yeah. That's one of the criteria.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor. Miss Mamie Francis,
Mary Francis Joyner?
Mary Francis. Do I
May
have a
Francis
second?
Joyner. May
May
Francis
No,
Joyner.
no R, May.
May Francis, okay. Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Who's that? Doug Harris, all in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. Item B is selection of consultant for CDBG project, Head Start building. Mike, are you familiar with this?
Yes, this is a project that's been ongoing for a period of time. We're at the process where we need to appoint a consultant engineer, and the regional commission graded the applicants, and Roberts Engineering had the top grade, so I recommend that we appoint Roberts Engineering to the CDBG project.
Professional services.
Professional
right.
services.
Roberts.
What rate would that be at, Mr. Deal? You know?
I don't. It's,
Is a percentage, is a project percentage or something like that?
it's only if the project is approved and they get a percent of that project as set by the state. Reed, do you know what that is?
That's right, you have to submit that to the RC.
Yeah, they approve up to a certain percent, and it's a statewide percent. I'm thinking 6, but I might be off base.
Any discussion on it? We need that in the form of a motion,
We do.
Mike? Do I have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we, go ahead and start building a consultant.
We're gonna make a motion that, for Roberts Engineering, is that correct?
Roberts Engineer.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Fixing to say now, y'all speak up, or I'm fixing to close this thing. Got a second by Darrell Newman, all in favor, raise your right hand.
You gonna do
Once
something?
again, all in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous, thank you. Item C, recognition, Mike Deal.
We had a commissioner that completed his hours to be a certified commissioner, Commissioner Doug Harris. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
What's the, is it 36? How many hours?
66 hours.
66 hours. Okay, that's, and how long have you been on?
2 years.
2 years.
Through the COVID time, and we've had some of this training had to come through Skype stuff.
We do have a letter, I
66.
won't read the letter, but it's kind of generic letter. But, he is to be congratulated. He had to go to several schools throughout the 2 years. Most of those are 6-hour classes, I guess.
6 or either 12.
Yeah, 6 or 12. Yeah, congratulations, Doug. I was supposed to have mine also, but due to the hurricane that come to Jekyll, they had to postpone it. So I guess I'm gonna leave with 4 hours short, is that what I am, something like that?
4 or 6.
But anyway, I didn't get my chance to make it, but I'm sure glad you did, Doug.
Thank you very much.
Item D, request to purchase equipment, lift for building and ground department. Dwight?
Yeah, if y'all would, you look in your package. I prepared a little information. I got a quote from United Rental. The piece of equipment that I would like to purchase is about $1,006 a week, plus delivery, and then plus pickup. Plus they charge you another fee for insurance. And this is much needed. It's an articulating lift. You can, I know we've already repaired a lot of gutter around this building from one I borrowed. Managed to get somebody to loan me one long enough to repair the gutter because all the straps had broke and it was just dumping the water rather than running down to the downspouts, which would eventually broke it all off if it hadn't been
Give you
repaired.
a shower every time you walk down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a picture, but I didn't get one of it. You'll see a picture of the one I'd like to have in the packet. It's a 450 AJ. They run anywhere from 30,000 on up to 120,000, depending on how new you want it, how much you want to spend. I've been looking a lot online, and I think I can get one that'll work for us for around 40,000, and hope that it'll be pretty dependable. It's not real old. Most of them's about 10 years old. That runs in that range. I do want to shop. I mean, I can't just put one out to bid because it's not new equipment. You've got to go and inspect it yourself, make sure you're getting what you're paying for. I mean, they could throw something out there that half works if they're trying to bid against somebody else, you know. But we can shop for it. We don't have to buy just whoever throws something out there. If,
These are surplus rentals, and I think it'll fit our need. We don't need a brand new one.
no,
We don't need to pay $200,000 for a brand new one. We can use this one. It'll serve us.
yeah, it'll be wonderful if we could get it. We got a lot of lights that's beyond the ladder reach. We got gutters. We got roofs that leak. We risking getting on with the extension ladders and other things. We got a leak right now in the courthouse can't get to without a boom lift.
We have 20,000 of this budgeted. It's gonna cost a little more than that.
Yeah, I think I put 20 or 25 in the budget for it, and that was before the pandemic hit and everything's went up. But
Is that a battery operated?
No,
it's
Diesel.
I call it a all-terrain because I want a four-wheel drive, and it's diesel powered.
How will we transport it?
The road shop has trailers that will haul it.
Is the one you're looking at gonna be approximately the same weight as this one, because it's like 16?
Yes, yeah,
Between
it's-
16 and 17,000 pounds.
Right, and that would be anything, any of their heavy equipment trailers would move it.
and Darrell, Dwight and I have talked about it. We think we're better served having one like this instead of a truck type that power companies use. Theirs don't reach high enough, and if we leave it setting up for a period of time, it might or might not crank when we need to use it. So I
Yeah,
think we'd be better served with this.
The boom lifts on the trucks, you gotta pay insurance for the road, you gotta buy a tag, a lot of other things that goes along with road equipment with boom trucks on it. And this, I think would be a lot more feasible. We can drive it. We drove the one we borrowed through town, around town. We drove it from,
Yeah, that's enough.
If you drive forklifts around town, you don't have to have a license for it.
yeah, but I'm just saying, we don't have to have a trailer every time we move it. That's what I was getting at.
Where is this located at,
What?
this piece of equipment?
I'm not sure where this one was located, but you can get them as close as Claxton.
We want a number not to exceed, and we can
Yeah.
we've shopped for 6 months.
Yeah,
And we found some.
I've been looking a lot, guys. I mean, they're out there, and they range on up to $120,000, and I don't want to spend that kind of money for what we're doing. I want maybe 40 or 50,000, and be able to get something, go clean out the gutters at County Extension Office. They got trees growing in them.
Change the
Did-
lights at the
Uh,
ag center.
Did you put that, I see here on the budget that it was under capital improvements?
Yes.
It was 25,000.
25,000, and that, I realize now that that's not enough for what we need, but hindsight's always better than foresight.
Mr. Mike, I buy a lot of equipment, such as booms and stuff like this, and the biggest problem you're gonna have with a machine like this, it's got some age on it, is gonna be the control panel and the wiring harness going from the bottom to the top because it works so much. And if you can find something, it may cost you a little bit more money, but if you can find something from one of these rental companies, a lot of times they'll sell them with a warranty. I just bought one that had a warranty with it, a year warranty. And you may not can get it quite for $40,000, $50,000, but I think that's something you need to look at
We will.
because, and I think probably rather than this is my opinion, rather than setting the price tonight, is y'all go to looking for one. When you locate one that you know is good, and tell us what it is, and then let's make a decision.
We can do it.
We can do it that way. Be glad to.
I mean, you can go, what I'm saying, I know those that you was telling me that you can buy for $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, you probably ain't gonna be getting much except a headache.
Yeah, that's what I was scared of too, is I don't want to go over 10 years old.
But
Sure.
I bought one, a different machine, but it's based on the same thing. and I got a year, 100% warranty for a year. But if you buy that machine and go to cleaning out gutter and use it a year, you're gonna find the problems if you got any where they can be fixed before your warranty would run out. That's just a suggestion that I got.
I'm good with that.
Suits me.
I think that's wise.
All right, so we'll do some searching and looking and come up with one and then come back.
That's,
Sounds good. Thank you.
you got a base of 25 to work with.
What's that?
Said you have a base of 25 to work with.
Thank you, Dwight. Item E, update on EMS fire. Mr. Jim Quick.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for inviting me tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. When I contacted you, everybody did respond back, and I appreciate that. That was a good response. Also, to the fire departments, law enforcement, to the people of Appling County. You know, there was so much people reaching out to us, offering this and that. In a rural area, it's very nice to know that we have that kind of support in Appling County. Recently, a few years ago, we discussed this about a neighboring county having the same situation. We all discussed it, and when that was put into place and some of the ideas that you, the board, came up with, I believe that's the reason that the crew, we were able to get out, and all the trucks we were able to get them out. I think that was excuse me, was on foresight that we planned, and we're not behind. We already had it planned, and we already had a plan in place of what to do if something like this did happen. So we had just taken ownership, the county had, of the new truck, which was the second of the two. And it was outside, but all the trucks were moved out. They followed the policy and procedures of getting the crews out and the equipment out. So all the trucks were fine and out into the location that they were supposed to be in. The living quarters was pretty much gutted. Upon your direction, Mr. Schumans, you requested the fire marshal. The fire marshal was notified, and he did respond. I did a walkthrough with him. He had a few questions to ask, and he videoed a few items that he saw of a question. So as the sun rose, and we kind of got to see what the damage looked like, pretty much, like I said, it gutted it. The bays, it did breach the firewall between the buildings, and it did get into the attic, but the fire departments were able to extinguish that without major damage. But there is a lot of smoke, and it looks like some fire damage in that area. We didn't really go into it too deep. So it's kind of be like starting over right now. The commissioners and all agreed for us to go to the EMA building, and that's where we were located at this point in time. Our housing is there in that building as well. So with that being said, I mean, I look for your guidance as to what long-term and what we might want to do down the road, and kind of get some ideas on that as well. Different companies, there's been a few companies reached out as well that would like to support, and that's probably coming forth. But we're able to, the hospital has given us some supplies. You, the commissioners, have given us supplies, and we're keeping track of everything that is being spent, and trying to keep everybody from the hospital to the commissioners to even the region M, up to date on what is going on. I know you appoint me as a board, as an advocate for this, for the EMS, to speak on your behalf. And that is what I'm trying to do by keeping all the entities involved and let them know what it is. And when I reached out to the Region 9 and I advised them of the fire, I did advise them that at no point in time was Appling County EMS ever down. We never suspended operations. We were fully operational through the whole time. Several of the counties around us did, as the state has a protocol as far as mutual aid. You have that in place where everybody, if they're needed, they would come in just like we did for Jeff Davis. So, you know, a lot of outside support since that. We've had some other support from other counties come in as well. So with that being said, do y'all have any questions for me?
Jimmy, I know the state fire marshal came, but I
Yes,
met
sir.
with him around that morning.
That's right, you and I.
Did he come up with any indication of what he thought? He told me he had a couple ideas and he's gonna check them out, but nothing panned out as to.
The two items that you, the fire marshal and myself looked at are the two items that he was going to respond back to another fire marshal. He videoed them and was getting back. Those two were going to talk about it as soon as he could. Now, this could take months for them to kind of decide which way, you know, and what it is. He pointed out two hot spots, and if you walked in there, you could really tell where the hot spots. Now, I'm not a fireman, but I can tell you right now there were some hot spots in that building. So,
Well, how's it working out with you around there where you at present, Jimmy?
well, it's very good. The fenced-in area, we are secured. The trucks are secured. The equipment, everything is like the state requires you. We're meeting all the standards that the state requires of us. Communication-wise, we're doing well. Hasn't been any glitches yet. We do have a little bit of phone issue because I've had people come and say, well, I've called you on your telephone at your office, but that's something that, you know, I tell them to call me on my cell phone or email me. And I have gotten a computer this past few days, and I've been able to use it. That's been the major obstacle, but the security over there for my staff, and they feel real good with it, and they all feel comfortable over there. As far as gaining access to businesses and to residents of Appling County, it's worked out real well. We have easily accessible roads, whether it's 144, 10 Mile Ben Carter, number 1, 341. We have real good access there on that side road. It's not really congested, so that makes our entrance and exits real good there. And maybe, I hope that kind of answered some of your questions on that one.
Anybody got any question they want to ask Jimmy or?
Do we have any, or do you have any direction yet from the authority or from your bosses on the insurance or anything? I mean, do we know if the insurance is coming?
I've reached out today. I've contacted, and Robin's here as well, but I've talked to Mr. Swain. I reached out to him today, and I reached out to Robin, asking both of those if the insurance adjuster had spoken with them. Mr. Swain did not confer that they have spoken with him. Robin, if they've contacted her.
Yes, sir. So Friday, I was with the 4 insurance agents and did a walkthrough of the EMS building. They are waiting on some building code information before they can give us some next steps.
What do they intend the next step to be?
I asked them that question, and they really couldn't give me any clear direction at this time until they had that building code information.
What type building code information are they looking for?
They were, had contacted the city here.
To see whether or not the building was up to code? Is that what they're asking, or?
They were seeing
So going back to 1982, huh? 40 years ago, that's whenever it was built.
That's correct. It was built in 1982.
Jimmy, do you have sufficient area over here where you're at for, I know they don't get much time to rest, but do they have a room over there where they can?
Right now, Darrell's here, we're sharing rooms. Our bunk rooms are in Darrell and Brent's offices. I'm sharing an office with Darrell for my office as well, so it is tight. But, you know, everybody's trying to accommodate everybody. So when Darrell's not there, or Brent's not there, or myself, you know, it uses a bedroom for my sleeping quarters. That's kind of where I'm looking at for y'all. I mean, I've got to look at something that I've got some stability in. And I don't know whether that's going to come from you, the board, or the hospital board, or if it's going to be a mutual understanding, because this building is owned by you, the commissioners, and so is the land. So with that being said, and this might be, Mr. Attorney, might be a question for him as well, and I like putting you on the spot. So, you know, where are we going to go from here? I mean, 10 years from now, I know where we need to be. I think I do. Because what we have now is not sufficient enough to meet what we have for 10 years from now. So with that being said, the area that you have is going to have to be able to accommodate a building of a certain size and these trucks as well. So I think we're going to have to expand, and the area that you're going to have, the land mass, it's going to have to be looked at and great deal as far as that. So, you know, in the location to where you want to locate it, if you want it to remain where it's at, or if you want to relocate it somewhere, that is where I feel like that the board has the kind of way I read it, the terminology, has really the say-so, is you, the board. The way I determine, and Mr. Brown, you might want to read it, and you might can shed some light on that. But as far as whether the county does or the hospital authority. But I'm not an
We're going to
attorney.
straighten it out, Mr. Jimmy.
Okay.
First thing I need to do is see that policy, to make sure that we're not going to be in litigation against them upholding their end of the policy.
Okay, sir.
But we're in the process of taking care of that.
Okay, sir.
There's going to be a plan to house you short-term, and then there's
Okay.
going to be a plan to take care of it long-term, but
Yes,
we've
sir.
got to see about whether we're fighting insurance or not.
Sure. That's fine.
Jimmy, did they total that building?
That's what we're saying, and that's what Robin is saying as well, and I'm reiterating it. The fire marshal has not made a determination, nor has the insurance adjusters made any determination. So we don't know how much the dollars are or what caused it. Everything right now, you can speculate whether it was wired. I mean, everything from there, I mean, so many different things could come, variables could be brought in.
Well, like Tracy said, I'm sure that the authority with the hospital and this board's gonna have to get together. They're gonna have to work together. I just hope they'll do it expediently.
Well, I do too, and
Like you
speak,
said, I hope they'll do it for 10 years from now, just not a fix and a get by.
it can't be a patch job. I mean, no, sir, it can't. It's got to be a long range. And whether you want to put different agencies together, or if you want to still maintain them in separate locations, that's up to you. And that's something we've got to look at. But when this is all thrown out there, I feel like that I should have an input into this.
Absolutely.
As being your spokesman, not just saying I'm going to be squashed, not have an input into this. So,
Mr. Jimmy, since it involves public safety as the county attorney, I would appreciate if you gave us a suggestion, come up with a plan, present it to the board, a suggestion for a short-term fix and a long-term fix. That way we've got it when we go and meet with the hospital authority.
okay, sir.
Jimmy, what's your biggest need right now?
Right now is just probably the quarters, the living space to where we're at. I mean, over there at the EMA building, you have 911, you have the EMA, we have a EMT program that's also being taught 2 nights a week, and then once every so often on the Saturdays. So there's a lot of activities going on over there, plus the meetings and things of that nature that goes on. We've spoken, is Darryl still here? Okay, Darryl's still here, and they've been real good in helping us look and reach out to GEMA and FEMA. Now, the gentleman we spoke with is now over in Russia, so he's going to be of little help to us. But that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, the communication, we have radios, and we're using that right now. We don't have the tones and all the speakers and all throughout the building, so we're having to rely a lot on handhelds. And so far, that's been working good. We're still able to log our runs on the state side. Our IT department has come over and set up all that. So we're still generating revenue, and we're still able to log our runs and all that. So, I'm not trying to make it look pretty because it's not. I mean, I've never had a house fire.
You're getting by, right?
Yes, we're getting by. It's kind of like when you have a house fire. I've never been there, but I feel like I have now. So that's some of the obstacles that we're coming up against. So how big a sleeping quarters? You need 2, 3 rooms, or? Right now, we're using the 2 office spaces is what we have, and all the rest of it. And that again, I said we're sharing because it's 2 office spaces, and they're limited on space. But we're making do with what we have. So
Whenever you contacted GEMA, were you looking for possibly a trailer or something like that?
That was one of the things that we had spoken about, but and that would move us from there out into the trailer. But then you have to take into consideration you have got to find water, you've got to find sewage, and you've got to find electricity. So we'd have to make for that to come into play as well, and power. So there's a lot of other things that would probably get us by, but I would like to kind of, and I don't want to rush nothing, but I think this is one of the things that needs to jump up to the top of the to the list of being taken care of. And I know that we have spoken in the past, and there is some money out there that Mr. Deal has brought to our attention in the past that could be used as far as that. So that might be another avenue to look at. And that might be one of the ways. As far as, those are just some of the ideas that I have off the top of my head.
Mr. Charlie, if you had a set of plans today, how long would it take to build a building that size?
With the availability of the materials and stuff that you would need, you're probably looking at 4 to 5 months.
At a minimum?
Yeah.
If you had a set of plans today?
Yeah.
Well, so we're gonna have to be looking for probably a 6-month period to temporarily house the EMS is what it's looking like to me.
That's
That
kind of
may-
what we're figuring out is somewhere between 6 to 8, 6 to 8 months is kind of what I've been telling my people. And that was just by using some contractors that are out there kind of bouncing it off them, trying to give me an idea, because that's not anything I'm expert in, but they are. So, but that's what they're telling me is somewhere from 6 to 8 months.
Well, we need to get it as quickly and as comfortable as we can for a set period, for a period of time, because we know that you don't build a building overnight. And,
That's right.
Where we at right now with all the setbacks that you have dealing with this kind of stuff right now, if you're starting to work just as hard as you can work at it right now, I hope you'll be there by this time next year.
Yes,
I mean, that's the way it's gonna go. Over the time you go through all of this waiting to see what the insurance is gonna do and all these other things, and time you get your plans, and time you get contractors that's got time and the people and material, if you in it by this time next year, you'll be doing good.
well, with that being said, so you're looking at over a year instead of 6 to 8 months by using that time frame that you just brought about.
Well, you got to, first off, you got to have a set of plans. We got to, this body and the authority has got to get together.
Sure.
And hash out some things. That's gonna take a little bit of time. But, as far as housing and, having some place decent for the employees to lay their heads and, have some degree of privacy, we need to do that post haste.
Sure.
Excuse me, Jim.
One
Yes.
thing, Mr. Jimmy, go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, our county fire chief, Lennon Deloach, he'd like to make a comment if you'd recognize him.
Our fire chief,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Lennon?
certainly, while he's coming, I would, on behalf of the, myself and the Board of Commissioners, I want to say thank you for the police department, the sheriff's department, the 10 Mile, I think it was.
That's what I said,
Department.
the county-wide fire department, city, county, I mean, they did tremendous. I mean.
They did. I was around
I was
that
very
day.
pleased, and, I couldn't walk around and tell each department thank you. But that's the reason I wanted, I tried to tell them all thank you as we was leaving, but so many people. I mean, it's like I said, not just the fire department, law enforcement, but I mean, people in the community were offering us trailers and, and food, things of that nature, and that's touching, and that's what I say to these people in Appling County, we're blessed.
Yep, we are.
We're very blessed to have people like that would open up and say, I have my trailer and it's available for that. But anyway,
Mr. Jimmy, before you sat down, let me remind you of this. Now, I know we was talking about that building being built in '82.
sure,
But remember, 4 or 5 years ago, all of those doors and electric motors and all was replaced.
yes, sir.
So you need to remind the insurance company that's not wasn't put there in '82. That stuff is expensive right now.
That was over $10,000, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And that was from that.
That's when that tornado
came through and blew the 4 doors
So
out.
all of that stuff is not, I imagine with those electric motors and those roll-up doors and the things just went up like they have now, I imagine probably you're looking at $12,000-$15,000 now.
Now with that, and then asking you this, are those doors salvageable? Or would that be I'm just putting that out, a structural engineer came in and looked at that building, and he was the one that came in and said, well, you need to do this because this, so.
Well, we're not talking about remodeling that building.
Sir?
We're not talking about
No, sir.
remodeling that building. So my thoughts on those doors is I probably wouldn't value them at nothing.
Okay, good.
But now I'll tell you what they will be good for, and I thought about this. I haven't looked at them. I know they got smoked up,
Sure.
but I don't think they got a lot of fire damage, but you can't put them in a new building.
Sure.
But they would work real good in some of these fire stations that
Sure.
maybe got some bad doors.
Anything that we got that you could recycle,
And I think that's the right size
great.
doors for most of these fire station
That would
doors,
be
so those
fine.
doors would work good where there was a bad one if it needed
Sure,
replacing.
that would be fine. And that'd work.
Mr. Linton, did you want to say something about it?
Well, I may be speaking out of turn on this, but it's just something for y'all to think about. And I know we're talking about 2 different entities here, and y'all would have to get with them and work out all the legalities and all that. And I don't want to offer this up because I haven't talked to anybody about it, but an option would be Baxley Fire Department. They've got bedrooms, or, I'm talking about for the short term. They've got bedrooms, they've got a kitchen, everything right there in Baxley Fire Department, but I don't want to offer that. It just might be an option.
Well, I had told some of them when we went around there that morning to the fire that the fire station around there did have bedrooms and all because we had built that building whenever it was built, and I knew it had all of that facility in it.
Right. and I didn't know whether that was city or county, and Mr. Mike and I, when we were speaking, you know, we just kind of, where can we go at for right now? And that was the first place, it was the EMA building, because, I mean, it is a good location. And that was one of the questions was asked, what's our accessibility to any major roads? Is that going to hinder you in any way? And no, it has not.
Now, with the fire trucks already over there, I know that it would be adequate to house personnel, possibly. But would is there space to put the ambulances themselves within the building itself in an enclosed environment? That's the other question that would have to be asked, and I'm not asking it right now. I'm just throwing it out, food for thought.
Yeah, it would be unfair for me to answer that because not having, I tell you what my trucks require, and if they're over there, remember what I said over here, this is a locked-in, gated area. It's a secured area. That would not be.
Unless they were able to be put inside.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Jimmy, do you think it'd be worthwhile looking at some of these carport type deals that's got sides and all on them to help, fixing to get winter time, you know, help keep the ambulances protected some?
It would shelter the vehicles from environmental. And if you're looking at housing them where they are right now, and you put the shelters over them, you could secure them to the asphalt so that would have the building secured. That would be up to you, the Board of Commissioners, as whether y'all wanted to pursue that or not. I mean, and I know all this is temporary, but it would be up to you. If y'all wanted to do that, it would work.
Well, I know those diesels. I know how those engines are.
Now, remember, in 2016, I believe it was, we went away from the diesels, and we have everything we have now are gas.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Every truck we have now is gas, and so are several other counties around are starting to go back to gas now because of the diesel.
Anybody else?
Okay. Can I ask one other question?
Sure.
If this input that you're asking from me, can I have one of the commissioners on this that I can speak with to kind of bounce off ideas as far as the facility that and the housing for the trucks, or for the to kind of lay out a plan, a format for the building and all? Would that be a fair question?
Manager. We got two managers now, you know.
I know it. And either that's fine. I mean, I don't. Either one of y'all two, or one of the commissioners, or you know, I'm open for suggestions, and I feel like it's not just my idea, but my idea as well as sharing it with your input as well. I think we'll get further with that.
Probably, Tracy, once we get in a meeting, then we'll probably be able to make a lot better decisions in the next few days, maybe a few weeks.
If you could get us a short-term proposal, because like they said, this is a matter of public safety, and that's why I'm speaking.
Sure.
If you could get us a viable short-term proposal so that we can house your folks, safely get them out to make the call and come back, that's what we've got to deal with right now. We'll fight the insurance company or
Sure.
do whatever we got to do to get the money to rebuild you. But right now, we've got to have a place to put you.
Right. So, okay.
You can coordinate with me and the county managers on that.
Sure, that'd be fair. Okay. All right, sir. And when you say county managers, that's plural? Okay, sir. Just make sure I got that clarified.
Geronimo or Sittenbull, whichever one you want.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate all.
Thank you once again, and, you know, thank y'all as the board, and I thank the people of the community as well, so.
Well, I thank you for all the hard work you put into it. I went around there twice that day, and
Sure.
I think you hadn't been 24 hours or something. You told me you had
I think I spent about a little over 30-something, 32 hours,
32, maybe, yeah, I know.
36. So
I told him, I said, man, go somewhere and find you a tree to sit down under for a few minutes or something.
I was
But
ready.
I appreciate the
Yeah.
effort that you put out there.
well, thank y'all. I appreciate your support. Thank y'all.
Item F, surplus shelter, old FEMA building. Is that something you gonna carry?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this time. I'm a member of the American Legion here in Baxley, Post 26. The American Legion is a membership organization nationwide. We welcome all branches of service. It doesn't matter the time that you served, whether it's a day, a week, a month, or a whole career. It's a civic-minded organization. Our primary purpose is to facilitate aid to the veterans of the county, help them get services they need, contact with the VA, get those kind of things done. We also are a civic organization in that we sponsor local youth organizations with the BB team. We've got we go around at Thanksgiving. We were able to give out some meals, and we're going to do the same at Christmas. So with that in mind, we're working to improve our facilities. I joined last year, and the building, it's right down the street here on Tippin Street, and it was not in good shape. But we've had some charitable organizations. Mickey Craven and his group came through and helped put in some new windows and doors, made a tremendous improvement to the building. We cleared out some trees. It had been neglected for many years, I think. And so we're working to improve our facilities and to get better so that we can do things and more things for the city and the residents of this county. I mean, we do rent out our building for birthdays and other such gatherings, as part of our fundraising. But what I'm here to ask you about is across the street in the old EMA building, there were several carports. A couple of them have been moved since they moved the facility, but there's still one remaining. It's just a little Carolina carport that's not that big. We would like to see if the county would be willing to donate that to us. We'll take care of moving it across the street, and so that we can add that to our facilities and improve our capabilities over there. So that's what I'm here to ask you for, your support with that.
Can we legally do that?
It's gotta be surplus.
Mr. Meyer,
Gotta be surplus?
Mr. Meyer, may I address?
Sir,
May I address the board,
what's it pertaining to?
the shelter?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. I was kind of hoping that none of those would have been moved, because I'm hoping I've got a lift that I'm going to park under.
You hoping you got what now?
I'm hoping I'm going to get a lift to park under.
Oh, a lift park there.
Yeah, because I was also going to move into the EMA building as part of our shop for our gas-fired tools to get them out of that building that we're in.
What did they do with the other two shelters?
They moved that sheriff's
They
office.
moved them back over to the new place?
That's all I was going to say about the shelter.
So you say the county's got a need for it?
Yes, sir. Unless y'all want to give out
Okay.
the way and buy me a new one.
If it's the one I think he's talking about, there ain't much to it to start with.
Just got to talk to them.
Is it long enough to house a lift completely?
24 foot, probably.
I would have to check, but the one that was moved was the one I wanted, but it's gone now, so.
I'm gonna have to say no, it's gotta be surplus, and he wants it as well. But I would really like for you to come talk to our two county managers as soon as you can. There's a lot of grants out there, there's a lot of money out there, and we're gonna pursue to see if we can find any of that for you. in
No, I
your
appreciate that.
organization. Okay,
I'll absolutely follow up with you.
okay. They're good
Okay.
people.
Thank you, Mr.
Thanks
John.
for your time.
Thank you, John.
Item G, TIA project agreement, Reed Levitt.
This is Reed checked out to go vote. So I'll do my best to put through this.
I hope everybody else has voted today. If you hadn't, you ought not to be here.
I told him that for us, so thank you.
Hey, wait, just a minute. Before you start that, can we take a 5-minute break, please?
Sure.
All right,
That's
we're
up
gonna
to you.
recess for 5 minutes.
That's up to you. You're the chair.
Mr. Mike, you wanna?
Yeah, the TIA that stands for the Transportation Enhancement Act Project Agreement. This is on 2 roads, but one of those roads has been upgraded and it needs to be taken off. So we're in the process. I wrote a letter today to change that. Reed, you want to come up and help me? So we're moving one of those roads down to Band 2 project and moving Nels Ferry to Band 1 project.
Yes, sir. All right, so Satilla's the one we're moving back a band and we're moving forward 10 mile, one to the severity of what it is, and also Satilla is still in really good shape. So we wrote the letter and the committee meets tomorrow and they'll approve to just swap bands. The money don't change, everything was the same. So all we did was move 10 mile forward, which would be the section from old 144 out to right around the landfill road. And then the next phase will be from there all the way back around to State Route 144.
Looks as if that road got in bad shape. Emergency repair must have took over, I don't know, and it don't matter.
That's right.
It's been repaired, and we need to change our TIA to a different roadway, and that's what we're doing.
And we don't want to take it completely off, we're just going to move it to the next band. Which is,
We need to go ahead and approve that tonight, because they're ready to.
the resolution's ready for y'all, from DOT to go ahead and move forward to initiate the project.
This contract, is that the resolution as well?
You should have a resolution. That's the agreement, and you'll
Right.
see a revised copy of that, but the resolution,
Okay, and it'll take Stilla off and put 10 mile
that's
on.
right. And DOT will do
Robert
that.
has the resolution. You have it, Robert?
Last page is there.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do. We do. We can handle it from there.
All right, I make a motion, we make the changes, replacing Satilla with 10 Mile and moving Satilla to Band 2 on the TIA project, as described by Mr. Lovett.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Theodore Wilson, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. Sheriff, you got any report?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
do we need to adopt this resolution tonight?
On what?
Yeah, it would be good. Yeah, it would be good.
Isn't that the motion I just made, to adopt it, or not?
To approve the agreement,
Approve the
but
change,
it could be to do the resolution. I think the resolution adopts the agreement. So I think it can be done all as one.
So do we need to back up?
Why don't we do them both? Then we're good. We get it covered.
So what's the motion?
Adopt it.
Adopt the resolution to make those changes for the TIA project. That's a motion. I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. Now, Mr. Mark, would you,
Good afternoon. Thank y'all for allowing me to be here. Just real quick, everybody knows Election Day is today, and polls just closed about 8 or 10 minutes ago. I think we're going to have record numbers turnout for a runoff election in Hampton County, probably across the state. But we worked all day, security-wise, checking all the precincts. Did not have any real problems. We did have a matter at the Big Oaks Church of God that was kind of concerning, but It was handled properly. One of the voters came in and had a medical emergency and did not make it. But anyway, the workers there provided CPR and did a great job. Young lady just went through CPR training, I think, the last week or two. And
Wow.
she took initiative and jumped right on it. And
Where was this at, Mark?
Big Oaks Church. Big Oaks. But it was handled very, very good by the staff out there. Shonda's folks did a good job. Ambulance, EMS folks got there rapidly, and it was handled as best it could be. We've been doing that all day long, going in and out of all the voting precincts. I will tell you that tomorrow is National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, so you'll see your flags at half-staff. I'm not sure why that's not a holiday or not some kind of, it's kind of just a little blip, but 23 or 2,400 soldiers and civilians lost their lives that day, and we do very little to remember them, but we will put our flags at half-staff across the county tomorrow. Highly recommend if you have a flag at home, do the same thing. Sun up to sundown tomorrow. And the sheriffs also be doing their Adopt a Family Christmas stuff. Will be, I think we take on about 12 or 13 families in the county. We do that in conjunction with Community Connections and the school systems and churches and different groups that are finding people in need in the communities. And with that, we purchase everything they need: clothing, shoes, jackets, toys, everything that we give them the entire Christmas package for the families that we adopt. And this is something we've done every year. We're very thankful that we're able to do that. We have, and this is my formal invite to you guys, the Georgia Sheriff's Association is having their formal grand opening of their new facility in Madison, Georgia on December the 9th at 1 p.m. I'm planning to go. If any of y'all want to go, you're welcome to ride with me.
It's Friday.
Pardon me?
Friday. Is that Friday?
Yes. It'll be, like I say, in Madison. It's a new training facility for the Sheriff's Association and new headquarters for the Georgia Sheriff's Youth Homes. And so it'll be a group thing for all the entities that make up the Georgia Sheriff's Association. We'd love to see some of you there. I know our elected officials, state elected officials have been formally invited, and I just wanted to offer that invite to you guys. We're having our Christmas parade December the 10th. If you're not involved in that, we'd love to see you guys out there throwing candy or doing something just to say Merry Christmas to our citizens, and we'll be supporting that and providing security and escorts for that. And last, December the 16th, we'll have our newest deputy coming out of the police academy. Chris Covington will be graduating that day. He'll go to an FTO program. He'll still be 4 to 5 months out before he's able to really go to work as a deputy. He'll be riding with other deputies and getting his field training out of the way. We have one that's currently in that field training program, Dalton Brannon should be coming off his FTO program probably another couple months, and we just had Sergio Maldonado come off of his. So we've got a new one on, we got one in the FTO, and we got one coming to the FTO, and we'll be at full staff for the first time in probably a year and a half, 2 years. So we're excited about that. Any questions for me?
What was the date you said you in Madison?
December the 9th.
9th? Then on Friday?
Uh-huh.
It's this Friday.
Oh, you know, I meant another thing too, and I about let this slip. December the 9th will be the last day we have Anthony Tillman will be retiring, and that'll be his last work day. We are going to have a little luncheon for his work unit's going to do that, but we're going to have an event recognizing him for his retirement later, probably the 1st of January. We'll bring him back. He's going to stay in a part-time capacity working court security with Kenny's division, but he'll be leaving the investigative role December the 9th as a full-time employee. So if y'all see him, I think he was hired under Benny when Benny first come in 2000, and he's been there ever since. So he's got
22 years.
22 years. So, and I think thinks he's old enough to retire. Thank y'all again.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Anybody got any questions
Thanks, sir.
for Mark? Thank you, buddy. Recreation Department, Kim?
We'll try to be quick as well.
Kim, would you pull that microphone up a little bit? I'm having a hard time hearing people.
How about that? That better? I would like to, on one thing that Mark said, the young lady who did the CPR today is one of our lifeguards. We found out that today. So, was glad to hear that. Give you a quick update on our sports, where we are in recreation. We're going to end soccer this Thursday. I think soccer's run well. We've literally tripled our teams this year. And Doug's been out there about every night helping them kick a ball.
Missing one tonight.
Yeah, missed it tonight.
How many teams you say we had this year, Timmy?
12.
12?
Yeah, had
Great.
4 last year and up to 12 this year. As you can see, we'll start basketball this Monday. Registration will end Friday. And we're going to be registering for the whole month of December for a new basketball with the 4, 5, and 6-year-olds, which we're going to play at the city gym. And we're funding this whole program, the new one, through the Hawks Foundation money. I'm having to buy some smaller balls and some portable goals, stuff like that, but every bit of that's going to be funded through the Hawks Foundation grant that we got. Yesterday, I spent pretty much the whole day from 9 o'clock to, I got home about 9:30 last night in Carrollton, which was that state athletic committee where they award all the state GRPA tournaments. And I was able to get the 10 and under girls for the summer. And the big one that we got was the GRPA swim meet, which is one of the biggest events that GRPA has, is swimming and track. So that'll be a 2-day event in July. So that's going to be, and a big reason that I was able to get it is because of, I can't remember the month, two or 3 months ago when y'all approved all that stuff for the pool, and I had it and I've got it. I was able to tell them I had all this stuff, and I think that was a big selling point because I could convince them we're ready to host this event.
Tell them who you beat out.
I beat out Tiff County, who is the king of swimming.
It is.
They've hosted that event probably 25 out of the last 26 years, and they wanted this one too, but I was able to at least convince the 21 people that this is where we need to be. So
Good deal.
I got 11 of them to vote for me, so that's all I needed.
Good deal.
And I was going to give you on the pool update. We do have the gas line run now. We don't have a meter. And as soon as the meter gets set, Dwight's promised me the next day he'll hook that heater up. So that's where we at on the pool. And I think we finally got to the point with this pool where I'm going to get with the county managers and we're going to start trying to get a grand opening date set for sometime in January. And let's get this pool kicked off, which will give us 6 months to prepare for this swim meet. And the other thing for the pool, I got the last invoice for the last payment that's owed on that pool, and it's $229,990.83. And talking with Mr. Mike, me and him has discussed, we need, I don't know, do we need approval to make a payment? To make this payment, but it's my recommendation that we retain the $229,990.83 until we are completely satisfied with the structure of the building. Because there is still some issues with it that they're going to fix. And I'd feel better knowing that we still owe them some money to get them there to fix it. So my recommendation would be to make a $200,000 payment as far as the pool goes.
And retain 29,000, is that what you said, at this point in time?
Yes. And the repairs is just because of the parts. I mean, they're having issues getting in, like, they got to replace one complete door just because of basically workmanship. They just totally took shortcuts putting it in, and I've told them they're going to replace it.
Is that the one that
Yeah.
had the holes in the top?
Yeah, they literally cut the door to make it work. And we told them, I told them to replace it. No other options. Do you want to? And the next thing I had was to get.
Let's go ahead and get an approval on that.
Yes, yeah,
Timmy's recommendation is $200,000, is that correct, Timmy?
yes.
What's the wishes of the board?
Mr. Timmy, I know you said the repairs is gonna be minor. Is the $29,990, is that, let me see how I need to say this. Is that enough to make it worth their time to come back and fix it, to get
Yes.
that money?
If you look on the chart, on the very, number 16 on the line item, he's already retaining $26,000 to the company. He still owes this company $26,000 on this pool enclosure. So they're still owed a good bit of money, and I think if we hold this back as well, it'll kind of convince them both they need to go fix it.
You think that's enough incentive? Do you think that's enough incentive?
I think it is.
We can fix it for that.
He's Tommy and Mr. Mike have spoken about these issues.
We could, if we have to go and do it ourselves, we could fix it for that cost.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just, that is if they don't, what time period are we talking about, them fixing it?
They haven't given us a time. They, from what Tommy's telling us, it's the door itself. They're having issues getting the door. There's just a delay, which is the same delay we had putting the whole enclosure up.
Right.
It's the parts, so.
Should we put any kind of a time frame on it, that it needs to be done by a certain date, else they forfeit that last amount of money?
If they forfeit it, then we're gonna have to do it. My preference is they do it, but it's gonna be determined by when they can get that door and the equipment. So that rules the world today.
Would be the same issue we would have if we were
It's
going to
the exact
repair it
same
ourselves.
issue we'd have. So we need to just work with them and see.
The door does work. I mean, it locks, everything that works. It's just,
Just
We
shot,
just
if
shot
you
it,
look at it, you can tell they cut it at an angle.
most definitely.
Yeah.
I
Well, they
pointed
should
that
have
out to,
90-day or a year's warranty on that
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
anyway.
it does. It does.
let's see, what's his name, Poncho, the guy that's in charge of the project, was it Poochie? Yeah, Poochie. Yeah, I've talked to him a couple of times about it, and he was, even whenever, just whenever I go around there speaking to him, and he was not all thrilled about some of the workmanship himself. Mr. Chairman, if you're ready to entertain a motion,
Right, yes, we are. We've got a motion on the floor.
I would recommend that we pay, is it Swim Pro, is that who's the actual payee? Swim Pro, $200,000, and retain, at this point in time, $29,990.83 until completion of the project.
Y'all heard the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Darrell Everett, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous.
I also included a job description for an athletic coordinator position for the recreation department. If y'all have had a chance to look that over and maybe approve this job description. This is a job that was in the recreation department. It just hasn't been filled in probably the last 12 years.
Has it been updated?
It has been updated. It's
What-
current.
Well, there's some changes have been made to it?
Yes.
Well, this is the first time we've had the opportunity to see it. Do you need, I know you're asking for it tonight, do you need it tonight?
I would really appreciate it tonight. Moving forward with basketball coming up and trying to get somebody in for the summer sports and all that would be a big advantage.
Who is that?
So what you're asking for, Timmy, is for us to approve the guidelines, or you want us to?
The job description right this minute.
Mike, have you had a chance to look over this? I'll make a motion, we approve this job description for a new position.
Have a motion to approve it?
I got a question. Who is this new position I'm going to report to?
What was the question?
Who's
I
the,
can't hear you.
who's this person going to report to for his,
Straight to me,
straight to you?
yes.
Okay.
They
All right.
work under me.
Any other discussion?
No.
Got a motion on the floor, do I have a second? Theodore seconds. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous.
Now I'd like to get a approval to open up this position for hire.
You can handle that. So that's covered on item 4.
Yes. And last, I want to speak a little bit about some pickleball. And I've got Emmanuel here. He is the defending pickleball state champion in GRPA, represented the Appleton County Recreation Department. And I think y'all got a packet in front of you with some pickleball stuff, and I'm going to turn it over to him for a few minutes.
Yes, sir. He can't talk for a few minutes.
Good evening, everybody.
Be free, brother, be free.
Is that a real pickleball you got?
I do. You ready? Can you catch it?
No, I'd like to see it. I'm about half blind.
All right, that's our pickleball. And so last year at this time, we brought in pickleballs, we brought paddles in. But today we just want to talk about pickleball as a high, show what we're doing on a local level. But before I get into it, I just want to say thank you. Thank you everybody that has took time out tonight. We appreciate everyone that's come through. So my name is Emmanuel Williams. I am born and raised here in Appleton County. Went to school in class of 2008. Went to Fort Valley State University. Left, been in Nebraska for 10 years. Had the opportunity, was blessed with the opportunity to come back home almost 2 years ago. So excited to be back in my neck of the woods, excited to see the growth that Appleton County has done. And we're just glad to be here today. Does everybody have a packet before I go into it? Make sure that everybody has it.
They should, man.
All right, all right. Just want to, I'll be brief, but I did want to go through a welcome and thank you to all the people. The agenda, what I want to talk about today is pickleball across the country, about how fast it's growing, just some high level facts. But then I want to drill that down into our Appleton County Pickleball Club of what we've been doing. And then why build a pickleball complex, what we need here in the county. And some reasoning and facts behind that. Then of course, I want to leave time for y'all to ask questions. So as we get in, pickleball, it's unprecedented growth. 5 years ago, a lot of people, and maybe wasn't on the radar, on the map of people, but COVID really introduced a lot of sports. When gyms were closed, no one could do anything, pickleball stayed open. I'm a witness to that. There are currently over 4.8 million players across the country. We've seen about 11% growth year over year. I expect that trend to continue. I expect to see it continue as it is pickleball is a cross between tennis and ping pong. It's a social sport. It has taken over in several communities from different age groups, middle schools to high school. So that is going to continue. pro tours and leagues are being established. If you look across, LeBron James, a lot of celebrities, a lot of stars are buying into teams. We are literally building like the NBA league as the NFL leagues were started. The Pickleball Pro League is being built up, as we speak today. So a lot of news, a lot of change, but it's not a short-term change. This is growth. Pickleball is here to stay. And so it's coming across. I think we've seen it on TV. It's made national debut not too far off. So the awareness is growing, and it's a sport for a lot of people. It's going to continue to grow as we build forward. So I think it's going to be in the Olympics not far off. When we're looking at grade school sports, it's starting off in younger age. I believe it's going to be a GHSA sanctioned sport not too far off from here. So I just wanted you to have confidence that pickleball as a whole, as much as you may be aware or unaware of, but it is popular, it is growing. Speaking down, as we go into our Appleton County, our pickleball club, this is the first page on your packet. And I just wanted to compile some information. I won't go over all of it, but I think it's important to share the mission. Our mission of Appleton County is to promote the sport of pickleball for the betterment of our community, the state of Georgia, the larger region. We're making a difference in the community by improving the health and well-being through an active lifestyle. It's exercise and fitness, and we establish camaraderie amongst diverse members. We're having a positive, genuine economic impact through enhanced sports tourism, and I'll show you how we get there. So I do have some members of the Appleton County Pickleball Club. I'll ask if y'all stand, if y'all have been part. This is just a portion of our group. They have been here from the beginning. We won't go through everybody, but these guys are instrumental. 1 year ago, it was myself, a couple of these guys, and we just introduced a sport. We now have over 100 players, as you can see on our map. 100 players have come through and played pickleball. We have a dedicated group. Thank y'all for coming today. I did want to emphasize that. I appreciate the support. So we have a wide range group from demographics of different generations. It's people that have come together in our community that may have not had a chance. I may not have had a chance to cross paths with some of them, but I'm glad to be here. And there's not anything that I wouldn't do if somebody asked me now out of this group, I would have their back. So that's just a one level. Tim did mention we had state champions. I don't want to mention out my partner is a state champion as well. We've got, he's earned a lot of medals. He's really taken up the pickleball. And it's just one example. I think it's going to continue to grow. We have had people come up for our Appleton County during the hurricane. We've had people come up, bring their camper, and they're looking for a campsite, and they're looking for a court to play. And they have reached out. They see us online. We're on Facebook. We're on Pickleball Places to Play. They're coming through. Over the Thanksgiving break, we have had people from the Atlanta and Florida area, people come in looking to play. And we have done this with a facility. We're playing on the tennis courts. The county, we thank you for painting one of the tennis courts for us. That was done last year. Tommy Phillips brought that to your attention. We were both here in a public input session and had no idea who Tommy Phillips was. So I appreciate him for getting started. As we continue to go, the Appleton County Pickleball Club, we have hosted one introductory session. We had over 20 participants. That number continues to grow. We've had churches be part of it. First timers, we're taking people off of the street. We've done sessions for Camp Grow, a lot of our youth. And multiple churches have brought out festivities. They come out to the park. Currently, we're playing at the Max Dean Park, the tennis courts, because of the lights that are there. That allows us to play early. When we first started, we traveled to Vidalia. One thing is we talk about the economic impact, the tourism that we're doing. We traveled sometimes 2 or 3 times a week to Vidalia. We spent gas money. We went to Chick-fil-A over in Vidalia. When we get a little bit further tie this in, that is opportunity as people come in to spend money here in Appleton County. We've only just scratched the surface. We haven't overly advertised. We had some information in the backseat news banner and do some things on Facebook and friends, but with just minimal, without the courts, I'm impressed with the number of people that are coming in. We average over 1 new person a week when we are playing. That is impressive to me, without a facility. And once we have a facility in place, I believe that number will continue to grow. Any questions over our Appleton County Pickleball Club?
How many courts do you currently have over at Max Dean?
There are 2 tennis courts, and the county painted one of the tennis courts for us to play on and then what we have done is we separated the other tennis court into 2 sides. We have one court and we have taped it off, and that is done with tape, and so it comes up. We have some logistical challenges, but currently we play on 3 courts at Max Dean, and it's not uncommon for us to fill those courts up and to have people waiting You can get 4 people on one court at one time. So we can fill those up and have people setting and waiting to play. Thank you, Mr. Darrell, for that question.
What's the ideal number of, did you say 14 is what you shoot for to have tournaments and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, sir. As it continues to grow, to host a good weekend tournament, you're going to want at least 14. Some of those pictures that I have in your packet, the premier places to play in Spalding and Macon have 18 and 17 and 18 courts respectively, and you need you'll need at least 14 to run to have enough people to go. So you can imagine if you have 200 players at a tournament, if they average 200, we've been to some that have over 400 players. We've been some to Vidalia, which had 4 courts, and then some temporary courts that had near 100. So, but we average about 200 at the tournaments where we go to, roughly that 200.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Given the cost of that, what you and I talked about, it would take to get you going.
You bet. So on your second and third pages, your third and fourth pages of your packet are some quotes from Barber Tennis. Barber Tennis were the ones that painted our courts, painted the courts around the 2 courts here in the county. So the third page, the first quote that you see is a 14-court facility. This is done, is quoted at the 4 tennis courts behind the city gym. That has a great foundation. It has the space, it has perimeter fencing already. What we will look to need to do there is just to fill in some minor cracks. They will come up with a fiberglass overlay and resurface and repaint. And so 14 courts would give us enough space. It give us parking there. We would need to add some interior fencing just to keep the balls from going over the place. But that is our premier. And that court, what it would look like is the picture on the second page. So that quote, that amount is there, as you can see. There may need to be, an official estimate once we come down and get everything to the nitty-gritty, but that puts us in the ballpark. The second quote that you see there is.
That first quote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Mm-hmm.
They left off a 0 or something. Total cost. Supposed to be a 0 there.
It should be. No, sir. It should be. Add one more 0. Yep. I didn't catch that. I apologize. But it should be one more 0. That should be 55,000. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Good catch. Any questions over that quote and that location?
Yes. Facility questions, shades, porch, lights, restroom facility, benches, interior fencing.
Yep.
And those are going to be, does pickleball played at night?
We do, yes, sir. If we look at a tournament, a weekend tournament, most of that will be done during the daytime. But for our recreational players, if you go back to the demographics, we average from, pickleball's from middle school to seniors. So there's a retirement crowd that likes to play in the morning. I myself can't retire just yet. I still got to work. So most of my time when I get off is in the evening. If you look across most of this group here, they've got to work. We've got to work yet. We've still got to put our time in. So we do the younger crowd and that 40 and above that still works at 8 to 5, 8 to 6. When they get off, then we would need lights to play in the evening to draw in. And that's part of the recreational impact. We have done this and grown our numbers over 100 people playing these courts. With what we have today, when we build courts, that will draw more people. That's more awareness. So if we've got 20 people playing on average a night, I think that number will grow to 36, 30 to 40, just because we build it, just because it's there. And then that's without implementing programs. So what we strive to do as a club is to have open play sessions, dedicated open play sessions. We host 1 or 2 learn to play clinics. So when we did that first one, our numbers jumped up dramatically when we interviewed, advertised in the Baxley News banner. So if we could do 1 to 2 a month, that will continue to draw people in. And then hosting those 3 to 4 tournaments. People want to travel. We've participated in over, I believe, 8 tournaments, maybe even more now. Jay's done some by himself. But we've done over 10. People will travel for pickleball. And as far as a facility in the South, you've got St. Simon's Island. You've got Vidalia has 4 courts. And then you're into Macon, which is a premier facility, draws a lot of people from the north. And then you have to go south into Amelia Island. Now, for recreational, some of the schools, Pierce County, I believe, is building 10. Jeff Davis is building 8. Coffee County is getting 8 courts. And that's part of our school. But that's, we've had some high level, we probably need to do some discussions with the school, but they're building, they're coming. But when we look at a place in the south, Appleton County is poised to pull people from the surrounding area. That's Savannah, Macon, Augusta will come up, Florida will come up and play at these tournaments, which will drive money, will drive people here to our county. Most of these tournaments are run singles on Friday. You have doubles, men's and women's doubles on Saturday, and then mixed doubles on Sunday. So you're looking at a fair amount of people that will want to play and want to come into the community. Questions on the, and you had mentioned up the questions on any other questions for the lights? I believe that was Mr. Doug. You talked about lights. Did I answer that question? That was a long way roundabout, didn't it?
You interrounded it.
Thank you. Looking at dollars, you know, for lights, that brings up the other quote that we have here is for the courts behind Max Dean. They have lights. Those lights are good. They're not great, but they're good. But you need more work done with that foundation. So that is the second quote that is in your packet. You'll have to have, you know, to fix some of those cracks that are in there, the foundation, there's concrete around it. They will come in with an asphalt overlay and just overlay it with asphalt and then make the tennis courts out of it. But from a dollar to price value, when you compare the two, that's 6 courts at Max Dean. It will be 14 courts at the community, behind the community gym. And by the time you add the lights in, maybe some shade supports at community, we're talking about the dollars will be within, you know, roughly 10% for each product. But you're looking at an end result of 6 courts versus 14.
We do have some other supporting facilities over there. I mean, we got some lights, we got some restrooms there at the, well, it's at the pool, but those areas and this new pool house has restrooms there. Those are things that if you're going to host a big tournament, you know, that would definitely have to come into play.
Yes, sir.
Because you got to have restroom facilities.
Yes, sir.
B&F ain't gonna handle all them.
No, sir. They not very well, at least.
So, you know, has there been any thought or cost estimates on the supporting facilities?
We did a little bit. We've talked about that, Tim. I don't want to speak on outside of Tim, but if you want to comment on that, don't want to put you on the spot. But
I talked with a Trinity Electric about lighting these courts down here, and he told me it cost between $45,000 for lighting at the gym for the 18.
And we did talk about restrooms. I don't know the Head Start building that is there. I know they're currently running with the food bank, but there may be restroom facilities in that building already that are there. Maybe something that we can utilize even a portion of that to house for restroom. I don't know. What we were thinking. You guys, someone else may have more working knowledge of it.
So what are you actually asking for us from us tonight?
Well, it would be nice to have an approval, but I didn't want to push it, right? And so I don't want to overstep any bounds. But we definitely want to bring it to your radar to show the work that is being done by Appleton County Pickleball Club. I wanted to get this in front of you so that we can make a decision. And whether it happens tonight, it'd be nice at least by the next one to see if we can have a decision to maybe proceed with a more professional place for us to play here in the county.
What I think he's talking about is maybe doing a short-range plan where he can start having some tournaments. I think ultimately, from what I see, is we need to look at our complex. If we start building enough courts to put on a big tournament, I think ultimately we probably need to go out there and build them from scratch and build everything that we need. It is already a GRPA sport. We need to have somebody competing.
Yes, sir.
If we're going to look at long-range vision and get the vision that Timmy and I have talked about, we need to grow that road. And I think starting from scratch, you can build those courts for you. You got any idea?
Brand new will be much more expensive than, I believe will be much more expensive than the foundation that we have already today.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes, sir.
But if you looking at longevity, and you're looking at design, and you're looking at ancillary support structures like lights and restrooms and those kind of things, they would have to be done new,
Yes, sir.
existing facility or new facility.
Yes.
Because they don't exist at this point in time at those facilities now. So those part would be, comparable, but the initial construction of the courts themselves would be the additional amounts for the grade base and paving for the initial portion of it.
Yes, sir.
That should be your goal. Build new and build enough. And it might be that you build 10 to start with and come back with 10.
Yes, sir.
Instead of scrapping and getting a place to play, you get it temporary, and then your goal should be
To build new.
build new.
Yes, sir.
Set your sights
Do we
high.
have enough room out there to accommodate?
Across the
road? To build?
Across the road we do.
Yeah, across the road, you got plenty of room.
Got 10 acres over there.
I think, as we're talking about, I think some of the early adopters of this have benefited the most. And those pictures that I have, Griffin, Spalding, and then House and Pickleball in Noonan and Macon, those are the premier facilities. And because they build it, everything is driven that way. In Macon will be probably our premier place to play moving forward. The mayor of Macon has dedicated the old mall. He's going to put 24 pickleball courts on the upstairs, 24 pickleball courts below. That will be an indoor facility. That's going to be a top notch. They'll be able to house a big tournament. They'll be able to handle the growth. So that's part of the longevity. We would love to be part of that as well. And we've got a good foundation. We can be the premier facility here in the South, right? We'll draw a lot of people into this community, to our neck of the woods, if we build it. So
Why not?
why not? I like it. Why not? Yes, sir. We included that in there. Why not? Couldn't think of a reason why not. Anyone that comes out to plays, I think they learn to play in one day. It takes a long time to master it. But this is not just for any one segment. This is for the whole county. This is for middle schoolers to seniors. This is for the different demographics. The people that have come together to play pickleball is amazing to see. We pull people off the streets when they drive by wondering, what are we playing? When they hear that ping, that pop, it's interesting. We've had people sit down and just watch us play. People that have come in. So it is exciting. I would love to get y'all out there. I may have to have a commissioners meeting, a commissioners day, commissioners game, so that you guys can see firsthand of what it is and how fun it is to play.
Emmanuel,
Yes, sir.
are there any schools throughout the state that participate in pickleball? I'm talking about like high schools, or
Yeah.
do they have a sport?
It is not a GHSA sanctioned event yet, but it is coming. I mentioned those schools that I know of. Pierce, Coffee, and Jeff Davis are getting courts built for the school system. In order to host tournaments, Pierce is the head of the game. You have to have, I believe, 10. So you have to have 10 courts to host tournaments for those GHSA. So that's something that Jordan and I will need to get together and support, and part of the conversations. It's coming, but I don't know if there are anybody outside. As far as the Christian Academy, they open up their doors when we had rain, these summer days when we play. They open up their doors and let us play in the gym. So as part of their fitness, their PE class, have taken up pickleball. I hope that answers
Do you
it.
think that it will be an upcoming sport for like GHSA?
I strongly believe that, yes, sir. I strongly do. I believe it has that much generation, that much power behind it. That much momentum that it will be sanctioned.
Do you know of any schools that now participates in pickleball?
I don't. I don't want to lie. I don't know off the top of my head that are actively have it as part of their school curriculum. We look at Vidalia though. Many times we go up to Vidalia on their 4-court system. A lot of their high school players are coming out in the evening and playing on their facilities. It's part of their. If they have it, they're coming.
Well, it wasn't just a handful of years ago. We didn't have many people in soccer either. Now look what it's gone to.
Yes, sir. That's true.
They play every school now's got soccer. So you're probably right. Pickleball probably in the future.
Yes, sir. It's most of the growth is coming in the younger age too. And that young growth, the growth of pickleball is in that 40 and under generation. When I talk about that, that's the recreation. So if we could build up a recreation program, have our youth playing it, when they get into high school, they're prepared. We'll have a leg up on the competition.
Anybody else got any questions? Mr. Manuel, may I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work at?
I work with, my company that I work with is called Novozymes. It's a regional office based in North Carolina. We are a biological seed treatment company. So we work, most common will be providing inoculant to the peanut farmers across the Southeast. So I do that. It's my day job. I like to farm on the outside, but the farm doesn't pay the bills just yet. And so, but that is.
You work for this company?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, they're very fortunate to have you. I tell you what, you brought here as good a presentation as I've witnessed since I've been here.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate the,
Yes, sir.
the time that you put into this.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. Yes, sir. To God be glory. I had help and support from my team, so I won't take all the credit, but we are. I do appreciate that acknowledgement.
I've been listening to it.
Oh, I guarantee you, you kept my attention. I just want to comment.
All right.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank y'all for y'all time. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We appreciate the time. All right. Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Brooks, Road and Bridges, you still here?
I admit there was a temptation to get up and disappear, but I'm still here. I just got a couple things. I'll definitely be brief. I know we've been here for quite a while. This is probably the last update. Hopefully I'll have to give on Dunn's Lake. The boat ramp is poured and it's sitting there waiting on us. I'm just waiting for the DNR, the schedule to come back. And right now, tentatively, that's next Tuesday. We're going to push that thing in the lake and we'll wrap that up. But I just want to publicly thank my guys out there. They had to work their tails off on pouring concrete's hard enough. Pouring it on a 15-degree slope is very difficult and very labor intensive. So they did a heck of a job on that. The only thing I have is I spoke to a gentleman last week. His name is Bryce Pound. He is a manager down there at Friar Farms in Surnsey. That's the place there between Surnsey and Odom on the right there at Barfield Break. Several years ago, the county paved about a 0.2 of a mile stretch through there due to all their 18-wheel traffic they have in and out of there every day. The road is starting to break up now, and he called me because they want to take complete responsibility for it. They feel they tore it up, and they want to fix it at no cost to the county. And when I say fix it, they're going to mill it out and lay new asphalt. The only thing they're asking the county is just some kind of written permission for them to access our right-of-way and do the work. So, like I said, not a cost to us at all. And they'll put a new road down for us.
I'll take care of that. I just wanted y'all to know.
Who would oversee
That's
the
pretty
project?
exciting.
Yeah.
Do they need any other roads in the county they want to work on?
Maybe we should let them expand to some other places where we need help with the roads. No, I think that's a,
Come by and I'll get you that one.
yeah, I think that's a great thing from them. They're taking responsibility for damage on the road and they're fixing it right out of their pocket, and there was no way I was gonna tell them no. I was with y'all. I wanted them to fix some more roads while they were at it. But they want to show their appreciation for the county paving that road from the beginning, and they want to return that favor by doing this road for us. So I think that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, I'm sure between Mike and our attorney, they can come up with something to release that to them.
Yes. And that's all I got. Any questions?
All of our equipment up and running?
We got one mower down. That's all I think of.
How about the grade, the scoop grade, what, Landau, what's that thing called?
The mini excavator or the great all, or?
The one that we usually clean out the end of the covers with.
That's both of them. Yeah, they're both going.
I got one thing, Brooks. How's the resurfacing coming along?
Still having material problems, I'm assuming? Yes. That's going to be a running theme for a while, I would imagine.
All right.
Anything else?
Thank you, Brooks.
Thank y'all.
We done been through executive session. Mike, I'll let you go first. You got any?
Yeah, one thing, we got permission to accept Roberts Engineering as our engineer of record last meeting, but we never did vote to accept them. So we need to do that. We've got a lot of projects going on, and instead of coming back to this meeting every time we have a project, we need to be able to let them do it by me signing off on it. You'll know about it. I'll keep you informed, or Al will, as soon as he takes over. But we need to accept them as, and we need a motion to accept them as our civil engineer of record, so they can do their task.
Any questions, comments? Anybody want to make a motion on the civil engineers, what did you call it? Professional services.
Civil engineer is a professional service.
Professional service?
I'll make a motion that we use Roberts Engineers for this professional services, engineering services.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Darrell seconds. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. You got anything else, Mike?
That's it.
Mr. Al, would you like to, you got anything you'd like to say?
No, sir, not tonight.
I don't really have any comments at this time myself, so this meeting is adjourned.